You need the converter box only if you watch analog TV using an antenna. And once you hook up that box, which you should do right away, you'll discover some great benefits.
The digital converter box is a benefit to everyone, really. You're going to get more channels, you're going to get a sharper picture, and it's not hard to hook up. It's plugging in a couple of wires and plugging it into the outlet. You can do this yourself. It's easy. But if you can't, there's help. We help. We will draw you a diagram, and you can just hook it up wire for wire, and it will work.
Alan Birdie called in his coupon order. My friend Dan Karcher ordered his coupons online.
Ordering the coupons online was easy and just took a few minutes. I actually have 5 TVs here at home, but just 2 of them receive the TV signal using rabbit ears. So I thought I just needed 2 converter boxes, one for a TV on the sun porch and another in our bedroom. The rest of our TVs are hooked up to cable, so I don't need to do anything about them. They'll continue to work just fine after the analog shutoff in February. It took a while for the coupons to arrive, and I was a bit concerned because I'd heard they're only valid for 90 days. But not to worry. The 90 days didn't start until just about the time they arrived in the mail. So I headed off to Jones Appliance and TV in Iowa Falls to pick up my boxes. There I met up with Jim Williams, who was very helpful. After I told Jim about my TV situation, he first wanted to know what kind of antenna I was using.
To be able to get a good digital signal, you need to have a good UHF signal. So what you might want to do is check to see if you do get those. The other thing is to check your antenna that you do have and see if there is what they call a bow tie antenna or a circular antenna. From where you live at in your area, usually both of those usually will work pretty good for that area. If you're farther away from the stations, then it may be that you might need to put an antenna on top of your house to be able to receive those signals. So now in the bedroom one, you said you also had rabbit ears on it?
Okay, and there's a little confusion there.
Okay.
We have no cable hookup in our bedroom.
Okay.
Okay, we got a color TV, and I bought it, I would say about 2.5, 3 years ago maybe. And it's always kind of bouncing back and forth between analog and digital.
So it actually has a digital tuner built into it, as far as you know.
It must. I didn't even realize that that was a possibility. So maybe I don't need the box for it.
You may not need it for that one, because if it is because there was a few sets that they did come out, which was actually a picture tube type set, but actually had the digital tuners in them. So what you might want to check is still signal strength for your UHF to see where you're at on that, because it may be that you may have to put a house antenna or get a bigger pair of rabbit ears, some that maybe are amplified to give you just a little better signal, so then it won't do the digitization or bouncing between channels. So basically then we have two different style boxes, and we have our black one here, which the feature it has on it has a separate volume control, so that you can use a separate volume control with the remote to turn your sound up and down. The one thing I always caution with people, if they get something like this, and especially if they're going to hook it onto a VCR to be able to record something, is that they need to make sure that the sound in the box is turned all the way up. Because if you don't turn that up, and even though you're hearing maybe something on your TV itself, you might not get the sound at all on your VCR. The one that we'd like to suggest probably would be our black box, because that particular one has to where you can just basically hook your antenna in, back out to the TV, and then you go ahead and auto program it. Now on the white box, that has what is called a pass-through.
There's a reason you might want a converter box with analog pass-through. We'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Probably what I'd recommend is going with the little black box.
Okay, and it's a $40 credit. How much is one of these converter boxes going to cost?
The particular box that you were looking at, we sell for $60. And so once you take the $40 off, that's only going to cost you $20 in your tax.
Well, Jim, I'm usually a procrastinator about anything, ask my wife, but I'm kind of wondering, why am I doing this now? I'm being encouraged to set up that converter box now. Am I going to be able to use the TV between now and February? What's going to happen?
Yeah, you'll still be able to use your TV on regular analog that you get off your antenna, but once you put the digital on, you'll see a lot of the new programming that is right there now.
Jim told me about multicasting. Broadcasters are actually broadcasting multiple digital channels on the same channel right now. They'll show up on your screen as the main channel number followed by a 1, then a 2, and so on. The number of multicast channels can vary. You'll get the channels you're used to, plus additional programming streams or even 24-hour weather. Improved picture and sound quality, more programming, all for free over your antenna. I also learned that with digital reception, there's no such thing as a marginal signal. Things like ghosting and noisy pictures and sound you may have experienced with analog TV don't happen with digital. You either get a crisp picture and sound or no signal at all. So if you're seeing no signal on a channel you used to watch, you'll need to upgrade your antenna. It's going to start benefiting me right away when I get the box hooked up.
Yes.
Okay. Jim went on to show me how to hook up the converter box, which is as simple as unhooking the antenna cable from your TV, plugging that cable into the antenna port on the back of the box, then using the supplied cable to connect the box to the antenna port on your TV. He also showed me how to program the box, which is basically just a matter of following the prompts that appear on the screen when you first turn everything on. Directions come with the box, but Jim said I could call him if I had any trouble. I'm sure most retailers would do the same. Once you get it programmed, you'll discover multicasting. And then he showed me how I could access the electronic program guide using the converter box remote. You'll get information about what you're watching, upcoming programs, signal strength, and other stuff. Kinda cool. Well, Jim, I really appreciate that explanation. Anytime I can get something free from Uncle Sam, I'm going to go for it. So it sounds like, even though I ordered 2 coupons, I only need to use one of these cards.
Right.
And I'm going to get this basic number right here, and you can just sign me up and I'll go up front and pay for it with you.
Okay.
Before you buy your converter box, think about features.
Well, the box that we handle has it's of course remote control. They're all remote control, but this box will not only control the box, but it's programmable to run your TV. So you can turn your TV on and off, run your volume, and change your channels. There's new boxes coming out that will still pass the analog signal. Right now, most of the boxes are strictly digital. So then we have to hook them up different ways so that they can still use some of the analog channels. Because in this area, we're still going to have some analog TV. The low power stations can still run on low power, so we need both analog and digital.
Low power TV stations broadcast over a small area and aren't required to switch over to digital yet. If you don't know whether this applies to you, it's important to ask your local retailers or friends and family members in your area to find out. Besides north central Iowa, there are low power TV stations that broadcast in Marshalltown, Ottumwa, and other parts of the state. If you want to pick up a low power TV station in your area over your antenna, you'll probably need a converter box that has analog pass-through. Finally, remember how I was surprised to find out that I already had a digital television? If you bought a TV in the last 3 years or so, it might have a digital tuner, and you won't need a converter box. Read your owner's manual. You're looking for terms like integrated digital tuner, digital receiver, digital tuner, DTV, ATSC, or HDTV. You could also check with the manufacturer's website to learn more.
This 47 on down is all.